made a bit of an effort in today's show to dress up. This is a jacket that I bought many years ago. I found this waistcoat in a second-hand shop, and I think somebody gave me this tie for a birthday present many years ago. Also, as you may have noticed, I have put some trousers on rather than jeans. I wear a lot of jeans, but I want to get back to my English roots, I suppose, and what I consider to be English and Englishness. So in some of the forthcoming videos, I'm going to be looking for new clothes. I want to put back the elegance into my life, English elegance, and this is one way of doing it, I suppose. But today I want to have a look at some books, because books, as you can see all around me, are very precious to me. And as one of my viewers said, it'd be interesting to see what books you've read this year. I did a book roundup last year, and I'm trying to remember if I have read as many books this year as I did the previous year, and I don't think I have. However, I think I'll have a look and see what books people have given me and those that have impressed me in the last 12 months. There's a couple here that were given to me actually by good old Merlin. He picked them up, I think, in a charity shop. He spotted them and he thought of me. So thank you very much, Merlin, for these. Now, I haven't had much of a chance to look at them, but on my shelf I have very similar sort of books about houses. I'm fascinated about houses, and I think because I've been able now to show my house and not feel that the way I live is vastly different to everybody else, and in some ways I think it is. I mean, a lot of people have very modern houses with modern things, and I often look back at the old-fashioned way of doing things. So things like the Edwardian house and the 1900 house, and the way that people used to do things, and the old-fashioned actually not having the electronic devices do everything for you, that things had to be done manually, like when I'm lighting the Essie, chopping the wood and lighting. I don't know, there's something, as I often say this, there's something, if not primeval, then I don't know, there's a kind of, for me, there's an earthy quality. It's almost spiritual in a way, that I'm doing the work. I cook a meal and I've lit the fire myself, I've chopped the wood, and it's almost as if then I feel that I have worked for that food, rather than just somebody else having dug up the gas, piped it down to the gas cooker, and you just flick a switch. I don't know, for me, I feel I'm more connected to the food that I cook, and also to some of the stuff in the house. Making my coffee table was cathartic, I suppose. I've made it, I'm part of it, it's part of me, it's not just shop bought, and those sort of things are important. So I'm fascinated in the houses and the stuff that goes in them, because it's craftsmen who used to make stuff, not stuff from, I don't know, flat pack shops that you just bung a few screws together. I don't know if any of that makes any sense, but to me there's an essence in craftsmanship, in making something yourself, and I love it. I really do. So, I've been reading a lot of Kingsley Amis recently. Well, I say a lot. I started with Lucky Jim earlier in the year. That was his first book. I really enjoyed that. It was funny. I'd seen the film with Ian Carmichael, and I'd sort of just getting into that whole business about old English films, books that had been written, and then old English films had been made from them. I probably didn't put that very well, old English films made from it, but anyway, you know what I mean. And it was a terrific film, and it's a classic. Terry Thomas, Ian Carmichael, I think Hugh Griffith, anyway, I started to think, I'm going to read some Kingsley Amis. I want to get back into a bit of fiction, because most of my books here are non-fiction, and I enjoy that. But sometimes, you know, a holiday from it is a good idea. A rest is as good as a whatever it is. So I did that. Then I started to read the next one that I think was in the order that he wrote, called That Uncertain Feeling, which is about a librarian who is entrapped with a woman, a married woman. And it's all the sort of relationship stuff. And it's taken, you know, I'm not really sort of, you know, I've gone from non-fiction into this kind of sophisticated relationship type stuff. Interesting, but was a bit odd. I did feel that it wasn't as good. Then I started to read this next one, One Fat Englishman, in which it's I couldn't really work out what the hell it was about. He seemed to be a publisher or something, and he had something to do with publishing, and he was just a lecherous old man who was desperately after sex with women much younger than himself, and one in particular. And I gave that one up, I'm afraid. And I'm trying, although I'm not really succeeding, in another one here. I like it here. So some fiction is really good, and I get into it. And I want to try and read more of the classics so that I've educated myself. But sometimes that isn't as easy as you might think. And now and in fact, one of my viewers, I haven't got it to hand, You Can't Do Both is another of his. Mark Burgess has bought it to me for Christmas, and I'll try and get round to reading that as well. That's a much later book, so I'm hoping that Kingsley Amis has sort of developed his craft as a writer and is more improved. So we'll see. Another book that one of my lovely viewers gave me here is, what is it called? The Woodfire Handbook. And because I've got my essay, and I've mentioned that earlier, it talks all about the different types of wood and seasoning logs and all those sort of things, which it's, you know, when you've got a wood burning stove, it's lovely. Look at all that wood there. Can you see that? It's great. I'm very lucky having a friend like the lovely Julia, because she, every now and again, brings me food. She comes on the show, we do the Vobes show. Sometimes she doesn't have enough time to eat because she's sorting out the family and the kids, and then the show time comes up, so she jumps in the car, she comes over to me and she brings her food. And often she's cooked enough for an extra plate. So she says, well, if you haven't eaten, Richard, I've got some food for you. She came over the other day and we did our Vobes show live broadcast and what have you, and I had actually already eaten. So she said, oh, well, I bought you a parcel of food, so I bunged it in the fridge and I'm just about to plate it up now. So it's roast potatoes and some roast beef and some carrots, and I'm just going to heat it up in the oven. She gave me some gravy which is in the fridge. I'll give that a shake and warm that up, and I'm going to cook some peas with it, so I think it'll be really nice. And it reminds me of another book that I was given this year. But let's get this in the oven first and I'll tell you about it in a second. The book that I wanted to show you is this one, the Four Seasons Cookbook, given to me by one of my lovely viewers, Jackie HW, from Thacombe in West Sussex. But the important thing is it's an essay book. It's a book for cooking on the essay, and that's why I was interested in showing you. It's got some amazing recipes in here from obviously 4 seasons all throughout the year. Some of them are a little bit rich and highfalutin, shall I say, rather gorgeous, but they might give me some ideas. And I love cookbooks. I mean, who doesn't really? I mean, you know, they got all these lots of different colours. But I'm somebody who doesn't really follow the recipes to the letter. I like to sort of get an idea from a cookbook and then just make it up. You know, think, well, I haven't got that, but I could substitute that, I don't do enough of it. I've got in my mind a series of go-to simple recipes, but because I live on my own, I think it would be very easy just to either buy, you know, prepared foods, ready meals, processed foods, and I'm not into that. I'm very much into trying to buy as fresh of vegetables as I can, albeit from the supermarket because they're near to me. I'd rather go to a farmer's market and rather get it from a farm shop, but of course it's all very expensive from that, and I am on a limited budget like so many people. But if I can take as much basic ingredients and then create something, I'm much happier. So thanks, Jackie, for this. This was another book given to me this year. So I will see if there's some recipes in there. Summer berry and lemon curd cream pavlova. Well, I'm supposed to be trying to reduce my sugar levels, so that might not be so good. But green pesto turkey salad. Turkey salad I've never thought about doing. So I might have to give that a go. Good one to do at Christmas. Hello, Ricky.
Hello, Richard. How are you?
Yeah, I'm good. Sorry about bashing your door, and
well,
I didn't know where you were.
I thought it was the bailiffs.
Well, are they onto you?
No, not at all. Not at all. There was this loud banging, and I thought, Christ, who's that?
I wanted to come and see you, and I knew you were down here because you frequent the Goring Gap here in Worthing quite a lot, to talk to you about books.
Oh, yes, indeed.
Because I read quite a bit, and I know you read.
Yeah.
Yeah. And I think Lou reads, but that's another story. I had to get it.
Very good.
Came to my head. No, I think the van is a great place when you're out and about in the countryside and you park up and you're looking in the scenery. You put the kettle on. You have a nice cup of coffee like this. I hope it's nice.
That's a manky old cup of coffee. Don't worry.
Oh, no sugar in. That's great. Yeah. It's nice to sit back and do something. And you could sit on your laptop and look at your phone or all those sort of things, but if you read, I can't think of anything nicer than sitting and reading.
I do tend to, if I've got an hour, like for lunch or something in between jobs, I do come down here and just read for a little bit. It's quite nice.
Yeah, because you're not interrupted by anybody.
No, that's right. Well, apart from you banging on the door.
Well, apart from me. Yeah. What sort of stuff do you read?
I've grown up with fantasy fiction books.
Oh crap!
Lord.
Interesting.
Yeah, that's
interesting
right.
stuff.
Lord of the Rings and stuff like that.
Oh right, okay.
And so at a very young age, I got into the Lord of the Rings and the Hobbit and things like that. And then I found another author, Robert Jordan, who created The Wheel of Time, which is a huge epic fantasy sprawling across like 12 or 13 books.
Oh, that and I like those because you can just lose yourself in somebody else's world.
Yeah.
You see, I haven't read fiction for a long time. I got into a bit of Kingsley Amis, as I mentioned in this, and that's my first return to fiction after reading non-fiction. But I was thinking for my van, I could get not a banana. I could have books like. These old little observer books, British architecture.
The old ones, yes.
So if you're there and you think, oh, that's a nice portico or Greek temple, park up by a Greek temple. So that could be quite good.
Yeah.
There's also things like trees. Obviously, trees are very useful. Nice. Have a look at that. The London plane.
That's fantastic.
That's quite nice. In my other pocket, I've got. What have we got here? Wild flowers. That's pretty good. If you like, have a look at that. And the nice thing about those is they're sort of dinky little books.
Pocket-sized.
Yeah, you can put them up on the shelves.
Yeah, on the shelves and stuff like that. Yeah.
Grasses and sedges and rushes. They're quite nice.
This is very much your
have
thing,
a look at
isn't
that
it?
one. Yeah, no, they're very nice. I think in my other pocket here, there's two of them here. One on the weather.
Oh, that's always handy.
Because we've got rubbish weather today.
It's grim, isn't it?
And you could have a nice bit of. There's some weather there to look at if you want to have a look at it.
I like looking at the weather.
British butterflies.
Yeah.
Loads of butterflies, and not as many as we used to have. But it's like you look them up and you go, "There's a common butterfly," or the Camberwell beauty butterfly. You always want to check those out.
That's correct. How many pockets have you got?
Got quite a few. There's another one on butterflies there. That's slightly bigger.
Oh yeah, it's slightly bigger. You got obviously have a bigger pocket for that one.
This is an old book by E.V. Lucas, The Open Road. It's got a bit of poetry in here. Shall I read you a poem? I'll serenade you, shall I?
Oh.
Why do
just
we
read it?
All right. Why do ye weep, sweet babies? Can tears speak grief in you who were born? But I can't read poetry. Anyway, I just thought that might be quite good. And in my other pocket, here we go.
Oh my lord!
English social history. This is a classic by G.M. Trevelyan. I thought that might be quite interesting as you're watching people go about.
The daily business.
Something for you to get your teeth into.
This is very much your thing, isn't it? Of a cold winter evening.
More wildflowers and insects.
Well, yes, pocketbook of insects.
I just wonder if the common Ricky is in here. Let's have a look. There might be some form of horrible, nasty creature lurking in. Oh yes, look at that one, bug-eyed.
I've dropped my coaster.
So I thought they could be quite good books for the van, just to have.
Yeah.
For looking at.
Scattered around, or maybe up on a shelf or something.
Well, yeah, on a shelf. I have got some in there, but I'm bored with those.
Oh, fair enough.
I haven't read them all, but I'm bored at looking at them. I'm bored of having them in the background of the video. Want some other books?
So you thought you'd dump them in my van for?
Well, I just thought I'd show you them so that you could get jealous. Because every time I come in your van and I look around, I'm insanely jealous.
Well, that's very kind of you to say. Very kind of you to say.
But anyway.
No, I think I'll stick to my fantasy fiction.
Sod you then. I'll have them back. Thanks very much.
But you have brought a lovely packet of biscuits.
Yes, well, I'm trying to reduce my sugar, so you'll have to eat all of those.
Oh, that's a shame, isn't it?
And it is.
Well, if I rip into these...
And I'll have my banana.
Yeah. No, but reading in the van is it is nice. It is nice. I do enjoy it. It's nice reading at home, of course, but this gives you a different perspective on things.
Carry on.
I think I'll carry on if you don't mind. I was up to chapter 2.
Sorry, did you say something?
No, I was busy reading.